Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to That Checks Out. My name is Ted Wilson. I'm your host. The star of our show is right here with me, Damon Brocchio. Across the room, we have our wonderful producer here at Audiohive Podcast Studio, Brian. We like to call him Big Mac. Welcome to the show. Damon, what do you got for us today?
A whole lot of nothing. We're going to do a lot of improv, I'm thinking, and have some topics, I guess.
Do you have some topics?
I do have some topics. Hey, first off, can I say kudos to you for coming through on the whole deck stain thing. That was first off, people, if you've learned anything, don't commit until you really know what the person's asking about.
You know, the thing I regret most about that is how excited I was about the possibility it was going to be a road trip.
Yes.
I mean, for me, it was a road trip because I had to drive to go do chores at your house.
Yeah.
But it was not the same as our usual road trip where there's fun food involved or large things in Iowa or TV stars from the 70s and 80s. Like, there wasn't any of that.
There was two large things on my deck rubbing on stain, and we're from the 70s.
Yeah,
so I guess
true.
you got part of that. No, to kind of put it equal, the joy that got sucked out of your eyes and your face when I told you exactly what my plan was, I felt like your initial joy. You were like, oh, and then when I took that from you, I felt it tenfold.
Yeah,
it was really. Yeah, it was a phenomenal thing.
I see you've squandered it because you have no energy today.
No, I don't. I'm not perky today.
I'm going to tell you this. I've heard from some of our international checkers, which that's what I've decided our fans are going to be
Is
called.
that anybody's not from Illinois?
Yeah, no, this is a Canadian. His name is David McCauley. He just had his birthday.
I know.
So
Dave.
happy birthday, Dave. He'll get a kick from that.
I know him from Facebook. Yes. Yeah.
He brought us some topics, so if we run out, we'll bring up some of those. But I want to hear yours. But I also there was something else. He had a friend who said our goldfish animal crackers. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I don't know if I want to make this the theme of our show where we have debates about what food is.
You know, today would be a good day to pick a debate with me because I think...
You think I'd win?
I think no matter what it is, I think you could give me the hot dogs and sandwich side today. And I
might be like, whatever, I'll take it. That's fine.
You know what I mean? So it is what it is.
I will take your hot dog argument.
Hey, so that too, I only know him through you from social media.
Yep.
Okay. And he's got some cool posts and he does a lot with the gaming community and stuff. It's very cool.
You can find him online, Fuse4 Gaming.
Yeah.
Fuse #4 Gaming.
Yeah. He's a pretty good dude. A lot of entertainment value for what he does. But what I like is I had a couple guys come up to me this week too. One in person that said every other Monday for me sucks. And I go, why? And he goes, because I get in my car to go to work and I don't have your podcast.
I thought you meant the Monday where we did have a podcast. That's where my mind went.
The one where you spent where you actually gave me something to listen to. Yeah. Because I know you're later going to be like, hey, what'd you think? That Monday sucks.
I can only come up with so many lies. Oh, it sounded good.
Right.
You got a great producer there. You guys are
voices.
Terrible. Right.
Yeah, you guys got voices and stuff. You guys wear headphones? That's awesome. Yeah. No, it was really cool. So I felt I kind of like swelled up a little bit. You know what I mean? Which for me, it's a pretty good size swell, you know? Yeah. So, I mean, but no, that was how I got to start my week off early this week. And it was actually one of my vendors that comes in at work. It was really cool. Nice. So that's one of our, I thought you were going with the whole international is like not in Illinois. It's like if you're not on lockdown, you're in international.
The joke I made to you personally, where I said I was an international traveler because I went to Iowa and Missouri.
Yes.
Yeah. No, it'd be funny though. I do have a story when I was in Iowa. I checked into my hotel. I don't know why we call them hotels now. They're motels, but whatever. Correct. You know how it is.
Yeah.
And I'm checking out. And as I'm checking out, the woman behind the counter, she had something by her nose. And my brain caught what my eyes had seen after I turned my head. So I turned back to look. And I was just like, do I need to tell her she needs a tissue? Is it that something like I just was going to double check what my eyes had seen. But at the same time, she's turning to look and stare at me. So now we're having this weird, I'm staring at her, she's staring at me. And I can't think, I'm thinking that she's looking at me because she caught me staring at her. That's what my mind's thinking. So I don't think there's anything weird. And suddenly she goes, what room were you in again? And now I'd hand her the little card that says my room number on it because I'm very weird like that. If once I leave a hotel, it looks like no one's been in it. Like you can go in my hotel room and except for the garbage can, it looks like no one has been in that room for like 30 years.
CSI Wilson.
Yeah, it's
CSI Wilson. All right. Yeah.
I said, well, I was in 119. And she said, I don't have anyone in that room. And I was like,
are you haunted?
Yeah, I was like, I've been there for 2 nights. I didn't break into your hotel, steal one of your little cards, write a room number on it, then come in here to check out just to mess with you, lady. I don't have that kind of time. I mean,
well, you do.
I do, but I don't have that kind of imagination, I guess is a better way.
You're not that smart.
That's true.
Okay.
So I said, well, no, I've been in there for 2 nights. I just need to check out. She's like, well, you didn't get a receipt under your door because I don't have you in that room. I said, that's great. Can I just get a receipt now?
Cool. Then it's free.
Yeah. I don't really care how this played out. And she said, what's your name? And I explained it, into her because, I just did the test. I'm like, Wilson. So she's looking for a little bit. And then I give her some time. I'm like, 2 L's. Because you just go to the W's. How many, there's 8 people in this hotel. No one's traveling right now. How hard is it to find me? She's like, oh, well, you're in room 224. I'm like, I never left the first floor, lady. I don't know what's going on. Maybe when I got here, the elevator was broken, which it was. And the guy looked at me and said, that's not a stair climber. We're going to give him the first floor.
Yeah.
So she goes, well, I guess I'll give you a receipt for the rooms you're in. I was like, can you please? Because I already got the charge from my card. So I would like to be able to, have work reimburse me for this. That'd be wonderful.
Wow.
But it was just so weird. Like, who breaks into hotels, steals the room, and then proceeds to check out? Like that doesn't.
But just to show how unlucky you are too, why didn't they give that room to somebody else? And you had a cuddle buddy for the night. Well, you had no idea. You'd have been just sleeping.
I'll tell you why they didn't give it. It was the worst room in the hotel. It's right across from the ice machine. It's next to the maintenance room. And,
nice.
And it's right across from the door where they go in for the morning. And I don't know if you know this, but for some reason, people say the weirdest things in hotels because it's the hallway where everything echoes and you can hear everything crystal clear. Like you can't hear the hotel TV across the room in the bed, but you can hear people 3 doors down in the hallway.
Yeah.
And I now know that woman, because she's the one that came in the morning, is having problems in the morning having a movement, let's say, because she told her coworker who was leaving that night that it's been 3 days since she pooped. The guy the night before...
These are the workers.
Yes, these are the workers. The guy the night before when he was leaving was saying something personal. And then the people that came in around 2 a.m., one of them has been having a wonderful time shaving his private area. Why do you say that out loud in a hallway of a hotel? I don't understand.
Well, I don't know what level of scruples you want to hold the hotel industry to for their employees, but
these were people that the guy that was experiencing grooming, I think he was a guest because there were like 4 or 5 voices at the same time.
But I have done that. I mean, I will say random things walking past doorways. If I hear noise from the inside, I assume they can hear me from the outside. So I will say something random in a very loud voice, just so maybe like, hey, that rash is going away, or hey, you know what I mean? Just stuff that's ridiculous and ignorant just to see what, if their noise stops, I know they heard me.
I get that, but now that means I have to record myself when I'm sleeping because I was dead asleep until those people came in. So I wasn't making any noise.
Really?
This guy just came in and just decided, hey, you know what? The whole hall needs to hear about my new hairstyle.
Really?
Yeah, it was fun.
Wow. That's pretty solid, though.
Yeah, but that's my international story. That's Iowa for you.
That's
we don't have to bleep that out. We can say Iowa. I will let you know that I'm not saying the hotel. I'm not saying the town. Yeah. Iowa.
I did not. Didn't I have a real eventful time between us doing the deck, which I wanted to do more videos doing that. When you left, I was exhausted.
Yeah, you were. Well, that was smart. By the time I got there, you were already in the sun for like a day and a half.
Yeah,
you were already beat red. There was a lot of work to be done. We dove straight into work, and we just didn't get any.
Yeah,
we didn't get any footage.
Not till no footage of it. We just got a little content at the end where I gave you props for showing up. You know. But yeah, that was I wanted more from that. Other than that, that's really the most eventful stuff. I bought a stove. That was not super eventful. However, when you go to the store and you don't they never stock anything. You know what I mean? Everything's special order. You go and you look, unless you want maybe like an apartment grade or rent grade, unit, which I don't. I know I'm going to live in my house probably 8 more years before I move out of state, and I want something that's going to last me that long, and then maybe sell the house. You know what I mean? That somebody else would be like, oh, that's not bad, and that's what I want.
Did you see how sad I got when you said you'll be here for 8 more years?
Yeah.
It was the inverse of when you said, hey, what are you doing?
I noticed you had a tear.
Yeah.
That was
son of a gun. Anyway, so nothing's in stock.
Nothing's in stock. So then I hit one place and they said, I really like this one. And how long does it take you to get it? And they go, well, I got one in back. And I'm like, oh, now here's the real kicker too. I should tell you, almost everybody goes stainless now. Okay. Yeah. My wife likes white. I don't mind white. I don't care. We have other white appliances that aren't that old. So I'm fine with that. You know what I mean? I'm going to redo my kitchen next year. If it's got all white appliances, I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. You know what I mean? So that's the rarity with it, is looking. It's almost like back in the day when you wanted the almond or the bisque. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're like, it's got to match my other stuff. Not, just the white. Not a lot of places stock them. So we went ahead and the guy tells me, he goes, I think I got it in the back. And I'm like, oh, man. Okay, well, if you got it, I'll take it. You know what I mean? So next thing I know, I'm loading the stove. And then I go, oh, man, I didn't plan on bringing one back. I didn't bring any tie straps. You're not with me, So now I'm buying $14 worth of tie straps, But
hey, that's cross-selling. That's great for that guy.
It was very good. Yeah, it was very good for that guy. But yeah, like I said, I got home and put that in and got the other one out to the curb. And that was the events of my last 2 weeks since you've been to my house. I really have done nothing.
I went to Iowa for work that first week right after the deck. And then this past week I went to St. Louis for work.
Really?
Yeah.
St. Louis.
St. Louis. You didn't meet me in St. Louis.
No. I went one time.
You did go to you had a good time in St. Louis.
No, I did not. No, I did not.
Some things you did.
No, yeah, most times I did not. And
you went with your wife for a nice trip, and now the whole thing you can think of is I didn't have a good time.
I had a good time. There was probably the most dramatic experience of my life because
that part you didn't enjoy.
Well, that's what you're talking about.
No, I wasn't. I was talking about your whole trip. You had a good time. You talked to that horse for a while. Jimmy. You had a great time with your wife. I wasn't even considering the arch. I don't like the arch.
Yeah.
I mean, I love the view and everything, but I don't like. I'm very claustrophobic in certain areas, and that they get in those Mork from Mork egg pods to go up the curve. They put me in there with. I'm not going to say their names because they're family, but members of my family that are not small.
Right.
So they put 3 of us in there and then another guy we didn't know. Mm-hmm. I'm not kidding you. When that door opened, I put my arms out like I was trying to get to the end zone through the front line. I just put my arms out and pushed all of my family members aside and ran out and was like, yeah, because I hate that so much.
So I'm standing in line waiting to go up, and they're going to jam me in a pod that's slightly larger than me with my wife and two other people. Okay. And when we go up, and you can feel it because you're going sideways. You're going up and you're going sideways. I had my eyes shut the whole time, which I think probably looking back is worse because it intensifies your other senses.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like when you're scared on something, you shut, like roller coaster. You're almost better having your eyes open because when you shut it, your body feels everything.
Yeah.
You
can't see what's coming, and suddenly
so now it's like now I'm thrown this way, now I'm thrown that way. So that kind of stinks. And I've only been on one roller coaster in my life, so I can't attest to anything else because I do not like those. But I'm going up in this thing. I'm claustrophobic. I'm scared of heights. I have control issues. I mean, really, it's my own personal purgatory. You know what I mean? Whatever's there. So we get to the top, and they show the sign. I don't know, was it 635 feet or whatever it is, on the sign there. And you're looking out. I'm like, this is great. Let's go. Well, there's a line longer than getting up to go down because, everybody goes up. They look. They take, boom, done. And we get down, and back on the ground, I bolt right out of there because I also noticed going in, that's a national monument. Right. You know what I mean? It's a national monument. So regardless of how you classify it, it's something everybody knows and knows where it is. So I noticed on the way in, you go in one way and you come out the same way. There's not like an extra way out. There's not. So I'm watching my surroundings. I'm watching everything. That's just what I do.
Yeah.
And Nicole's like, what are you doing? I said, I'm just taking in everything. I just want to know what's going on. So we get done. I go right back up that ramp outside, and I'm outside and I'm waiting. I'm like, we're good. We're done. And it's funny as we're coming back down in the elevator, we're with this Hispanic couple that I don't know, of course. And the guy is like, I don't know, 55, 60 years old. And he's literally, Nicole took a video of it. He's literally like consoling me. He's patting me on the leg and on the shoulder the whole time going, it's okay. It's okay, buddy. It's okay. I don't recall any of that. So it was a very traumatic experience. I did not like that at all.
The last time I was in the Arch was the day after the Cubs won the World Series. So basically a pilgrim in an unholy land. Like they're not happy about that in St. Louis.
Correct.
And as you know, I mean, I don't know how long you looked out the window, but you can look right into Busch Stadium from the Arch.
Yeah, I did notice that.
And they had torn it. I think they were redoing the field because they didn't need it anymore because they weren't in the World Series. And so I said, oh, look, they didn't need this for baseball. That sucks to be them. I said it out loud. In St. Louis.
Inner thoughts should always be your inner thoughts. Yeah, that was an inner
thought. Because then like at least 10 heads turned and looked at me. I was like, aren't all of us from out of town? Why are you guys here? Like, don't you see this all the time?
Yeah, it's like when people from Chicago go to see the Bean. You don't do that because you live there. You walk past and you go, oh, there's a Bean. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but there were certainly some Cardinal fans up in the Arch with me that day.
Well, and it costs money to do that.
Yeah.
It's not.
Yeah, the Bean you can just walk by for free and go like, yeah, there's the Cloud Gate.
So the big thing is, that's the whole reason I went up, is because I'm cheap. And when I found out she paid for those tickets, I was going up. Yeah, I wasn't throwing them away, you know?
We went to, have you ever seen, I remember where it was. It's Lookout Mountain somewhere. But there was we were driving.
Is it in Tennessee? I think I think we see it on the way to Florida.
Yeah, so maybe it was a different place. But we were with my parents back in the day, and it was someplace where once you got up there was no way to turn around. You had to pay to get through. And so my dad was not happy because we thought we could just like decide if we wanted to do the incline thing and do the like rope bridge, all the like things they had in this mountainside.
Rope bridge?
Well,
and they
like,
pay you and you pay to do it?
It's not like a tiny rope bridge. It's like a huge suspended bridge. Like you could fit maybe 10 people across. You can fit like 1,000 people down. It's a huge bridge, but there was like an incline, a rope bridge, some other things. And my dad was not happy that you couldn't just go there and decide if you wanted to do it. You had to pay to get in, and then you could do these other things. And so on the way down, they had all these gates to block it off so people couldn't come up the other way in a, inclement weather. And I said, Dad, what would you do if one of these gates was closed? He would I would ram it just to get off this mountain. And I was like, now that I'm a dad and I'm on this side of it, I get it. I would ruin my car as well to get off of that mountain if they tried to keep us in. It's
very weird, but it's true. Yeah. But it's true. As you get older, some of the stuff you thought, like, man, this is BS. What are they thinking? What are they doing? And you get older, you're like, you're more strict or you're more stern. You're like, they didn't even get the whole gist of it. Look, I'm going to go this far,
Right.
But no, and it's but back to like the fear of stuff and this and that. That's what ruined that trip. I'll say that trip that day. You know what I mean?
We were there for that event on the trip.
Yeah, no, but that still put it was a weird. And then I kept getting in trouble because they do all those helicopter tours there over the water, and I just kept telling her, "Get to the chopper." That's all I kept saying the whole time, and she was like getting angry. You know,
that's kind of how I narrated the birth of our first child. I was quoting movies and TV shows while pain was going on the other side of the room. I don't know if you know how that works, but that didn't go well. Yeah,
so we go on a I don't know what they call it, a handsome cab ride or horse carriage ride, horse trunk, whatever, So we get to go on one of those, and because I had them right outside the hotel, so I said, let's go do one of those. So we do one, and it's neat having the clip clop and this and that. But before we go, I said, well, what's the horse's name? They're like, Jimmy. I'm like, me and Jimmy are best friends now. This is great. So I really miss Jimmy. He's a good dude. But you know what I really miss? He had a crap sack behind him.
Do you want a crap sack?
I kind of think
they're called diapers. They make them.
No, it's not a diaper.
Well, I know what they are for horses. I'm saying for humans, you could have a crap sack.
No, I don't want a diaper. I just want something that I never have to stop what I'm doing. Done. I just snap my fingers on recording. Done. That's what I want. So I saw that and I started laughing, and my wife goes, I go, I'm jealous. So I go, Jimmy's got a crap sack, but you hop in the back and you're going for a walk and you hear the clip, clop, clip, clop, clip, clop. And you never smell it. I mean, it was awesome.
That's a plus.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
It was, because that was my first thought, because it was like 4th of July weekend, so it's warm outside. And I thought, Jimmy had used his crap sack several times that morning. A matter of fact, Jimmy must have had a feast the night before. So
to be fair, there is a colostomy bag, which is a sack that sits outside of you that you can crap into. So we can make that happen. Maybe that's a field trip on one of our future podcasts.
I feel like I would abuse it. I really do feel like
I feel like you would too.
I feel like
the fact that Jimmy wasn't standing in because that's really what you have to break open the crap usually to make it smell. Like, how you can see a dog poop in the yard when you're mowing.
You're right. Yeah.
And it doesn't smell, but you accidentally hit it with a tire.
Oh.
Suddenly 2 rows later, you're like,
yeah. And you're moving your shoes. You're like, did I step in it? Yeah.
I will say, since you're cheap and you like to, if you would close your eyes, she could have just held some coconuts out and clopped them together, and you could have pretended for free.
Correct.
No crap sack needed. No horse feed needed. It would have been much cheaper. Just a couple of coconuts.
Yeah. I wish she was more creative. I'd have so much more money. I'd have so much more cash.
Yeah, because now you're going to pay to edit that out.
Right.
So what were some of the topics you were
Well, the other topic, one of the topics is somebody brought up this week, too, about going up in an airplane, which I'm definitely afraid to fly.
God, I want to get you on a plane. Not because I want to scare you, but I love flying so much. Even in this day and age, I still love the airport. I love the people watching. I love the whole process. I know people think I'm crazy for that.
Yeah.
But man, it's one of my favorite things to do.
And by the way, I'm the worst person to drive you to the airport, because the entire time
you're looking at the planes. I'm
looking at the planes. They could be flying just over the road, because I don't see where I live. I don't have a plane that goes 400 feet over my head coming onto a runway. So when I see that, I go nuts.
Right before all this started, this pandemic we're in, we went to see Jim Flanagan record his album at Zany's near the airport in Chicago.
Yes.
And you almost killed us because we were on the interstate right around Chicago, right around here, O'Hare, which is it's a very busy interstate.
Yeah.
And you're up there looking at the planes.
Well, the planes
we discussed earlier how it is with your exit. You got to let you know eight minutes ahead that your exit's coming. Like, this is where you turn. This? Yeah, right here, right now, right here. And like, for once you weren't asking me if this is my turn. And I realized because you were looking up in the sky at the 40 planes that were circling us.
It was, I get amazed by it. It really amazes me. Seriously. Like same thing. I could go sit at the airport, watch them take off, watch them land. You know what I mean? And do that. I could do that. I don't think you can this day and age.
No, not anymore.
Right?
But, when we were kids, it was amazing. We would go and you could just walk right in and we would, because my mom would fly to, her parents live in California. She'd go out there and see them every now and then. And I mean, I would want to go because California's fun, but it was a treat just to go to the airport with her, and you could go all the way to the terminal and you could go all the way to the gate and watch the other planes and everything. Yeah. And now you have to look outside the plexiglass and go, I heard there's planes back there.
Yeah.
Are they, where can I see them? No, sir, you can't. You can't see them. Yeah. Only people that pay and get patted down and stay like. How do you feel? So you've never been through security, so you don't know they have those things. You put your arms above your head and they can scan you and see everything that you've eaten since birth, because that's how in depth the X-ray is. Oh yeah, no. There's no hiding in those. No,
true story. True story.
True story.
Yeah. Well, this. I do lots of things I'm not proud of, but luckily here there's only 2 people that listen, so I can say whatever I want to say.
Brian has to listen to some of it.
Right. Well, I was thinking you and Brian. That's what I was saying. Yeah, there's just you and Brian.
You're not even listening?
Yeah. No.
You're closing your ears during this?
I've tuned out. Yeah, I've tuned out. We went to the Museum of Science and Industry in Chicago, and they have the airplane up there in the rafters.
You wouldn't even go in that?
I went in it, and I freaked out. I said, like if it falls 20 feet to the floor. Yeah.
Was it the height or just the fact that you were in an enclosed tube?
I was claustrophobic, enclosed tube. It was just, and yeah, So
you've never done the coal mine there, I assume?
No. Maybe as a kid, because remember we used to take stuff there.
No. God, no.
Is that close to like a funnel cake? Nope.
Yeah,
was that close?
That was so quick.
That was close, huh?
Your brain didn't even function. Your mouth answered for your brain. No.
Yeah. Damon, just say no. Just say no. Yeah. But what got brought up about the flying thing, and that's when I said I wouldn't fly, is a couple of people I know are talking about going skydiving.
Oh, I'd love to do that.
Okay.
Give them my number.
So
I'll wear your shirt and pretend it's you.
So they said, what is a parachute? As a backup, you're going to wear my shirt? Right. Sew up that neck hole. Sew up that neck hole and give me that Duke Boy shirt. Well, yeah, we're all good. But no, they were talking about it, and they said, well, you don't go by yourself. You go tandem. And I said, what does a parachute hold? How much weight? And they said, I don't know.
Well, maybe half you.
They said probably 450 or something like that. I go, then who's my tandem partner?
You're going tandem with like a 12-year-old girl.
Yeah. Who's my tandem partner? You know what I mean? Damon's holding a fetus. You know what I mean? That doesn't work. So I was really confused. And plus, too, usually when you go tandem, they're strapped to your back. Mine would be in like a baby carrier on the front of me. You know what I mean?
Like a baby Bjorn.
Right. So
where the reserve parachute usually sits.
Right.
Hope this regular one works, because we didn't have room for a backup.
But I guarantee who's ever working that day is going to fight over being tandem to me, because if the chute doesn't open, they're riding me right into the earth.
And then just stand up and walk away.
Stand up and be like, whoo.
Yeah. You know how they say you can't jump off something that's falling before it hits the ground? That's not true.
Yeah. I didn't have to. They had to wedge me out of a part of his body. And then unharness me.
He crawls out of a cartoon-shaped hole of you. Just
So I just told him, I said, I can't do that. And then it was like a day before, the same dude was talking about he wants to get, they call them midget horses, but a little horse, okay? And I told him, I want you to get 12 of them, and I want to see you race them. I want to see, horse races. So I told him, I said, whoever guy is riding your midget horse, that's my tandem jumper. You know what I mean? Because what do you
said you get 12 of that, I think you wanted to put them like a dog sled where you got 12 pulling one car.
No,
I want individually
like,
racing.
Yeah, like OTB track
small jockeys on these tiny horses.
Right.
Maybe actually smaller jockeys.
Maybe a chimpanzee. Who wouldn't pay to see that? Or a squirrel?
I would pay to see you tandem with a chimpanzee out of a plane. Because you're in a plane, that's fun.
Yeah.
You're tandem to a wild chimp that's probably not thrilled to be a tandem to you. Yeah. Also fun. You're getting thrown out of a plane. Top-notch fun.
Yeah. We're both throwing crap at people.
Yeah. You unintentionally.
Not with my hands.
Yeah.
But we're both
exactly where you're going.
We're both raining shit on people below. Yes. However, the monkey will not be held accountable later on. because it's just what he does.
Based on the story, you're dead. So I don't think you're held accountable either.
Right. Wake him up because I got to tell him.
Because I don't think that monkey would pull the chute. I think it would unstrap you first, then pull the chute, and then probably fling its poo at you as you're falling down.
He got a very, very intelligent monkey.
You could race horses.
The monkey's doing the math. This chute's never going to hold both of us. One of us has to go.
Why does that monkey have a calculator? Where did that monkey get a calculator? I don't like
Is he
this.
wearing a cap and gown? Oh my God, did I get the smartest monkey in the face of the earth?
You just see him with one of those green visors old bankers used to wear.
He's got the ticker tape coming out the back, and he's reviewing it as it's flying in the air.
Just shaking his head. No.
This is not going to work. What's the old Seinfeld reference? We 86 the fat guy. We're running lean. We're all good, you know? Just pull it, man. But that was, go ahead.
Speaking about running lean and being cheap and everything, I went to rent a car because I get a car provided when I go international, when I leave Illinois.
Yeah.
And
I like how we've included that as that's international now.
Yeah, well,
I'm very much on that.
I mean, I've had pancakes from out of state. Those are international, right?
I am a world traveler based on your knowledge. So let's do
the
this.
International House of Pancakes. So I had to book through usually we do a website thing, but they've shut that down because you have to get permission and all this stuff. So I called the people and I said, this is where I usually book my car. Can I get a car there? They said, we can't find it. I said, I've rented there 40 times in the last 4 years. I know it exists. We can't find it. Like, I'm glad you can't find it. I know it exists. So I get a car from someplace I've never rented for, so they've never met me and everything. Because the car,
did they find you?
Yeah, they found me. The place I usually go, they know I don't want any extras. I can't upgrade because it's on the company car. They just know, like, okay,
they're not trying to push you at the counter.
They're not trying to upsell because they know.
Right.
So this other place, they don't know me. That's fine. They're trying to upsell, but he goes from a Nissan Sentra. He's like, I got this Nissan Sentra. Is that okay? And I'm like, not really, but I take what I get. That's how it is. He's like, well, I can upgrade you to this BMW for just a few bucks more. I'm like, dude, you haven't rented a car probably in 8 to 12 weeks. You should just give me whatever I want. Can I drive your car? I should just be able to take it.
Yeah.
Why are you being picky right now? Just take my money, give me your car, and move on. And I was like, no, I can't justify that. I'm not paying the extra out of my pocket. Just give me what you got. So I take the car. That was Iowa. The next week I have to rent to go to St. Louis. I come in, same place, different guy. He's like, hey, I got this Nissan Altima. Is that fine? I'm like, yeah, that's fine. He's like, well, for a few bucks more, I can get you to a Maxima. I'm like, so you want me to pay out of pocket so I can have a slightly less crappy Nissan? Sure, that sounds fun. Like, what's the upgrade on that? Like, I probably would have just gone in back, taken a Maxima badge and put it on the Altima and been like, there you go. That's 20 more bucks a day. Like,
He's not a good salesman.
No.
You can't start like one grade below. You got to start down and be like, for a couple bucks, I can get you that Sherman tank.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah, for a couple bucks, we will put you, in the back of a limo and have someone drive you. And okay. Yeah, that'll spring for
a few hundred, we can get you that Millennium Falcon you've been wanting to drive.
We'll hover convert this Nissan Altima for $999.99.
Right. Are you going to be going around any water? Do you want to not have to turn? Yeah.
I am crossing the Mississippi River, so maybe.
Right. They got to take all that in consideration, but they need to start smaller.
Right.
We got thank you for coming to Amish Rentals. We have a horse and buggy here.
Yes,
and
yes. That's what Dave McCauley brought up. He said he wanted to know if there was a toy that we had growing up that we thought was cool, that other people didn't think were cool, that we held to like a champion. And when you said start smaller, remind me, I didn't learn how to ride a bike until I was 7 because I didn't want to give up my big wheel. Did you know that? Did you know me then? Was that right before we met?
No, I knew you then, but I didn't realize that. But I still didn't learn till after you.
Well, the thing about the big wheel, though, is that clearly I was way too big for the big wheel at 7.
For sure.
So I would just like lean over it and ride it like a scooter.
Yeah.
Like I just put my foot on it and kick it around.
Yeah.
How asinine did I have to be that I didn't even want to ride like I would see my friends zooming by, at like breakneck speeds of 10, 12 miles an hour, or I'm kicking behind them on a big wheel that it was so old that the plastic started to erode. So like the wheels had like big gaps in them. So it'd be like,
you're the reason we have potholes.
Yeah.
You're the reason we have potholes.
I tore up that town, that street. It was weird because if I went, like, where I grew up, but people listening do not. I grew up on a circle street. So that was I was telling my parents I'm going around the block. That was it.
Yeah.
That was,
you had a true round the block.
I had a round the block. If I was going around the big block, I would turn down the long street, Daniels, you know where that is.
Right.
And then go down in front of the, where the bus stop was, and then back up, not quite to your mom's house, but that short street, and then back around all the way around. I say that because growing up, that was just where I grew up. my dad, before he bought the house, he would get lost back there because all the circles and everything. Because I lived on a circle street. However, it was 2 streets. Like, picture a backwards P for everyone listening. If you come up the stick of the P and turn left, that was Wabash Street. But if you got around the top of the circle, where the top of the P would be, it was Laurel Avenue. So my dad would come in one street, be halfway around and be on another street, and somehow that would confuse him, and it would take him like 10 minutes to get out, even though he lived 1 block from that circle. I don't know why he told us that story. If this day and age, that story would die with me. I would never tell my kids that I got lost 1 block from my house. But,
as intelligent of a man as your dad was, though, if that's his one story,
yeah, it was just so
he's
funny.
got to give you something.
Because as a kid, you're like, how did you get lost? Like, this is where we grew up. How do you? But I can understand if you've never been there, how it's circles that back into circles that back into circles that are not the same street you started on 2 seconds ago.
At least he wasn't like swearing up a storm and causing a scene. You know, I mean, it was
funny though. It wasn't.
You wouldn't expect that. I would never expect to hear that story. Yeah. You know what I mean? So, but at the same time, I don't know. I shouldn't say I don't know. I know, but I'm not great at, like, they go, then just go west and then go here and then go north and then go over here and go. And I'm like, no. Rights or lefts? I need rights and lefts. Okay. So I'm kind of the same way when it comes to the whole navigation thing. Now, most cars have a thing on the mirror. So, you know, hey, I'm going east. I'm going to California. I need to turn around. You know what I mean? So I get that, you know, but just in that circle road, because I know exactly what you're talking about. And no, it's confusing. We go there and we trick or treat every year. And I know my kids and my wife, because they didn't grow up there.
Right.
You know what I mean? They same
because the roads will turn back on themselves, and suddenly you'll be like, "Hey, how did I get here? I went over there, but I'm not back where I started."
Well, and trick or treating, they come up around the block and they're like, "Let's go to that house." I'm like, "You already went to that house," right? And they're like, "No, we didn't." I'm like, "You did.
You did.
You did. You did. You had no
go to
idea."
The house, see if you get anything.
Yeah, go to the house, and they're gonna go. Now, if it's a nice little old lady, she might forget you were there, and you get some more candy.
But if it's one of those full like Snicker bar houses, they're gonna know.
Oh yeah. No, they're checking the footage.
Now,
you were here.
So speaking of the right and lefts, I'm not going to go into the story now, but we can save it for later. We had a job together where we did some training where we were told to say, if you're saying right as in the affirmative, you say correct. You don't say right because it can be confused with. Do you still do that to this day? I find myself when someone says wants confirmation, I'll still say correct instead of right.
No, you know what I say a lot though now, and it went away for a long time. 10-4. I don't know why I say that. I say that all the time.
You text at me a lot.
I do. Yeah. 10-4. That's my, hey, I got you. I understand.
Are you texting from a walkie-talkie?
Right. Yeah.
Is there a 9er in there?
It's a verbal to Siri. 10-4. Siri's like, I got to type this crap again. Yeah. You know? Yeah.
Oh,
it's
guy.
A verbal. It's
this
a verbal. You're talking about where you used to live and growing up in the old neighborhood and stuff. And we used to ride bikes all over the place and stuff. And that got me thinking that I was witnessed in the last week. I think there was only one day it actually rained. And I watched somebody ride down the street they had a coat on. It was hot outside. They had a coat on and they're on their bicycle and they had on blue jeans. And I don't know how you feel because you're wearing blue jeans today. Okay. If you walked outside and those got soaking wet, would your day be altered?
Yeah. And I don't like to ride my bike when I'm wearing jeans because if you hit the chain, suddenly you've got grease all the way up your pants.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, I think there's certain people in this world that should be deemed like on a watch list and people that ride.
It's dangerous, but all right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
No. When I say that, like, hey, I could never see it coming from that guy. No, I could because he likes to wear jeans in the rain when he's pedaling a bicycle. I don't like wet jeans when they get wet on the bottom because it starts creeping up and creeping up. You can just walk through puddles and it's creeping up.
Well, that also weighs
the
end of your pants down. Then you're standing on them. Like I can't. I mean, I'm going to sound like an old man shaking his fist at a cloud right now, but I can't stand seeing people's jeans that are all ripped from the heel because they stood on them for so long that they finally started to fray. Yeah, like my pants have to hit the top of my shoe and stop. It's just me. I know it's weird. I just don't like standing on my pants. Yeah, no, I when I lost a little weight, my dress pants went like that. And I hated that because first off, jeans are one thing. Sometimes they get worn in the back. Yeah. You know what I mean? It happens. I go out of my way to not make it happen. I understand it does happen, but some people just buy pants that are 2 inches too long. That's
correct.
On them. Yeah.
Right. It's okay when you sit down if I see your socks. And it's okay. If you got to sit down and not see your socks, and when you stand up, you're heeling your pants, you know? So unless you're wearing skinny pants, which I got to tell you, I'm not switching to those anytime soon. So I think we're going to be fine.
Well, some of your regular pants have inadvertently turned into skinny pants.
Well, but that's not by choice.
Right. I didn't say that you intended that to happen.
But no, my whole point is seriously, if you think about it, how crazy you have to be. Because even go to Disney and you go on a water ride or you go somewhere, I don't wear jean shorts anymore, so we're fine. But people come off and they're in jeans, or even in jeans. There's a lot of people, believe it or not, that wear jeans.
It's so hot down there.
Well, but like they figure they're going to be out. It's 4:00 in the afternoon. The sun's going to go down. They're going to stay out there till 1 or 2 in the morning when the park closes, and they're going to be ready for it. And they're walking around, and that's the other look I can't stand, when a dude wears jeans and flip flops. I can't stand that.
This is interesting. That doesn't bother me, but I can understand why that's weird.
That drives me crazy. And if I just offended anybody that's listening, you were not meant to listen to this podcast. So tell your friends who also think you look ridiculous, and they'll listen to us.
It's weird because I'm wearing jeans and a short sleeve shirt today, but usually my look for when it's going to be colder is I can wear shorts forever.
Correct.
I'll just wear I'll put something with long sleeves on or a thin sweatshirt to warm up. Like my legs is not where I lose my heat.
Right.
I mean, I don't worry about my legs getting cold. It's my chest, like the core is what I try to keep warm. So in that situation, I would bring a jacket if I thought it was going to get colder.
Yeah.
I can't see any time unless you're there in the winter in Florida where it's going to be the fact where you're going to need to change unless you were wet, but then you're wearing jeans. So that's on you.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's why if you're going on water rides that day, jeans are not. And again, if you're comfortable in wet jeans, to me, you're borderline psychotic. You know what I mean? Like if they find a duffel bag of heads in your trunk when they stop you,
I'm
I'm going to be like, you know what?
He had wet jeans.
The guy had wet jeans on.
On purpose.
Yeah.
So.
The other people that I think are borderline psychotic, and I witnessed this week, who bites a chip?
Oh, you mean takes a chip and turns it into a multiple?
Yeah. So I take
mouth
Dorito.
Experience?
This was a Dorito.
Yeah.
Which of course is absolutely, it'll disintegrate in a heartbeat. You know what I mean? Just by setting it down on something, you now have 4 chips. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I watched somebody bite it and then start picking little pieces off their shirt and off the table. And then I watched them bite the next one and do the same thing. And I went, if you just put the whole damn thing in your mouth, you get all of it because you're losing 20% of the chip every time.
Well, what if the chip is bigger than, because some of the Tostitos, the tortilla chips are more than one bite. Is that okay?
Or even a good Ruffles. You could get good Ruffles too.
It's like that one fry in McDonald's. Like, how did they get it? Where did they get this potato?
Oh, I know.
You pull one out and it's, 7 to 8 inches long. You're like, I've never seen a potato that big.
Gaffigan's been on that. Yeah. Oh, look at you, Fry. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And
it did sound familiar when I said it. Thanks for calling me out.
Yeah, but that is true. Well, you called me out before, so it is what it is. But no, but you are true though. And I wasn't calling you out, but it's the honest truth that you'll get something like that. Now, Fry, you just bend it around, man.
Yeah, because the Dorito, they're all the same size. They make them into that size.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest with you, my 11-year-old could put a whole Dorito in their mouth. You know what I mean?
And they rounded off the corners a few years back. I don't know if you noticed that. They used to be really sharp, but after a few, you'd be like, man, the sides of my mouth are gone.
Yeah. So, but those are people that fit categories. Do you have anything like that? Where when you see those people, you're like, they're shady. They need to be watched. I need to be on high alert. I mean, you have any?
I didn't think about it. But
no, because we don't send notes anymore. This is all improv.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I just had the idea, So I started thinking, and I was like, man, when I see it happen, I jot the stuff down. You know what I mean? Yeah. But I just, like I said, to me, there's certain.
Maybe this is something that we throw out to people. Is there stuff that could get some feedback and say, hey, what do you see that is innocuous? Really isn't that important in the scheme of the world, but it just drives you nuts.
Yeah. And like I said, I really do see that. When I see someone's pant legs, like they're walking around, and like you said, they're too long.
Yeah.
And then they're walking through puddles, and I'm watching the water creep up. And I'm literally in my head, I want to go grab a tape measure and be like, oh, you just gained another 2 inches of water. Oh, you know what I mean? It's just weird. And I see that, and I start cringing. I'm like, how can you be comfortable? How can you be? And again, I used to work in the trades, and I had on, I'd wear jeans to work and boots, and I'd jump in, and it sucked. I did not like that feeling at all. But I was getting paid. They were paying me for my time. It wasn't
your choice. It wasn't right.
Right. If and what was weird is 9 times out of 10, I would change before I even got in the car, I'd throw on some shorts or something and drive home. I'm like, I can't even stand sitting like that.
It's weird. I used to do that. Suddenly in the last couple months, I've gotten back in. I didn't own jeans for 20 years. I did not own them. Didn't even have them. And now suddenly I'm wearing them all the time again.
Well, I believe you had them. Because you keep everything. So I'm thinking you might have had something.
I did find the jorts that still had tags on them when I went
That's
into my
where I
old
was
stuff.
going, but I wanted you to bring it up.
Yeah, I did find jorts that still have the tags on them based on the cut, the fact that they have too many pockets, and the acid washedness of them.
They're
probably
cargo jorts.
Yeah, they're probably from the late 90s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a very solid find, and for you to put it on Facebook was that made me smile.
I've learned long ago. I've got nothing left to be respectful about. It's over.
So I guess one of the last things is I was listening to my mullet list this morning.
Oh, here we go.
Nope. Listen.
Are you going to test me again so I can say
No.
Europe when it should have been White Lion?
No. So what's weird is you ever hit like shuffle on something and it's your playlist. So it's like something where you have the stuff saved. I don't know if you do this or not, but I do. So I have the iTunes on the phone and it's my music. So I don't have to rely on Pandora or Spotify or somebody to select something I want to hear and play a band I don't want to hear, you know? So I'm going through the list and I get an Ozzy song that I was like, I really like this song, but man, I really like to hear I Only Want You, I think is the name of the Ozzy song. It's a newer song, but it's older. For us now, it's older, but it's not like back vintage Ozzy. You know what I mean? And so there's a line in there that says, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. I used to go to bed so high and wired. Okay. Now I go to bed high and wired every day and I can't sleep. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I love that line. So I'm on shuffle. The next song, it plays that song. And I was like, 2 Ozzies back to back. I was like, Steve Jobs is rocking this from the Dead on my playlist. You know what I mean? I was intrigued. So then I had a grand scheme. My brain starts flowing and I'm getting more in the mood and in the groove. You know what I mean? Coming here because I was really a downer when I got up today.
Wait, when you got here, this was an improvement of
this
how you
was an
started?
improvement.
Oh,
this was an
God.
improvement. Yeah, I was really
you were
down.
really down.
I was. And so my brain starts working and I start having all these grand ideas of what I'm going to do.
Is this a ghost of Damon? Is the real Damon in a ditch somewhere?
First off, if this is a ghost of Damon, far superior to real Damon.
I mean, the chair hasn't sunk down, so you're not really testing the hydraulics. So my theory might check out.
Still rolls.
All right, so anyhow, I cut you off. I apologize. You
no, but so I started listening.
Scheming and dreaming over there.
Yeah, and so then, what was it? I have all these schemes, and the next song comes on. Because the one thing I do is I've always had all these schemes. I mean, I had this scheme about doing a podcast years ago, and then a year or two ago we did one, and it didn't work. And now you know what I mean. So it takes me a while. I don't know why, because I don't take gambles. I don't take risks on myself. So I start saying all stuff to myself. But I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do this. And the next song that came out, I can't remember what it was. It was a Warrant song. Oh, Big Talk. So big talk is just talk, you know, unless you're doing something about it is basically what the gist of the song is. And I'm like, are you kidding me right now? So I kind of snapped out of my funk, but I didn't. Because when I walked in here, I know both you guys looked at me like, hey, you want to go back outside and try that again?
Yeah.
You know?
Do you want a cookie?
Yeah.
Did you just give blood? Sugarloaf? What's going on? How you feeling,
Biscuits
buddy?
and gravy, buddy?
Yeah.
You want some biscuits
and
and gravy?
some biscuits and gravy, your eyes would have lit up.
But,
hey, Brian, while you're checking the Googles, can you see if there's a song about giving Ted money that we can throw into his playlist? Because it seems to affect him more than I thought it would.
What's the one that says, my bald middle-aged friend needs some cash?
Giving Ted that money. I'm just going to record it myself. And
Money.
Giving Ted the money.
You're not supposed to do that. You made me laugh, you jerk.
We got him. Took him all episode. We got him.
Oh, man. 45, 50 minutes in, he's smiling. Look at that.
We did it.
Look
We
at
turned
that.
him around.
Come back in an hour. I'm going to need this again.
Oh, man. I don't have that kind of time.
But, no, I think we should put that out, though. I think that I'd like to know what signs people look for in, hey, when they start retrieving bodies out of the crawl space from my neighbor's house, I saw that coming. Or, hey.
I thought we were talking about positive signs, like your list had, your song list had like lifted your spirits, but now we're back to, no, I'm looking for psychotics because I need to put them on a list.
First off, the more psychotics I get, the better I feel about myself. Okay? Hate wet jeans. I don't bite chips. Okay? I eat chips. So right now, I'm a winner.
Oh, I'll tell you something I saw that drove me nuts. So we're in this current time where where depending on different states and municipalities, you have to wear a mask. You don't have to wear a mask. It depends. At work, we have to wear a mask. All the employees have to wear masks. That's fine. Mm-hmm. Depending where you're at, customers don't. Depending on the state, we do recommend it, but we don't enforce it.
Right.
So I'm working. Everyone is wearing a mask except one gentleman. He's trying to pay with his credit card. It doesn't work. So he goes to get cash out of his wallet. He licks his thumb from his elbow to his thumbnail to wet his finger to pull some money out of his wallet.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that it's cash is like infinitely more gross, but I don't like people that lick their fingers to try to get paper out of stuff and then hand it to me. If you're flipping through your own stack of papers, I don't care what you do with them. Wipe them on your butt for all I care. But,
yeah,
don't.
That checks out.
Yeah.
I
was going to use some words that I don't want to put them on the podcast. I was going to use some gross terminology, but yeah, I don't.
So I do that. I do not for money or not like that. First off, I really never carry cash because I find that I will spend cash.
Well, I'm just saying, like, cash is gross, and this guy. I'm not kidding you. Like, I mean,
but even
he
papers,
was going to town on his thumb, and then handed that to someone.
Yeah.
So now he's handing that to someone else.
Right.
And dirty cash is in the first place, much less during a global pandemic. Ugh. Oh God, they're so. I was just glad it wasn't me.
Who's on this bill? COVID Jackson.
Like, hold on, let me go put gloves on my gloves because I feel bad for my gloves.
Need another box. That's a new one. Nope. you look like Mickey Mouse.
Your
hands
your
are
hand
so big
in the box and just like kind of clamp it together. So nasty.
So we'd like to hear more stuff like that.
Yeah.
What if you see something, what would be your trigger? I guess that's probably the best word. What's your trigger for somebody doing something that, and again, it's going to be menial. That, like I said, somebody wearing jeans, wear whatever you want. When I see that.
Oh, now they're coming. They're flooding. Like people that aren't cognizant of how loud they chew.
Okay. I tell you what, I'm on that too. And now they will say that people like you and me that point that out, we're the psychopaths.
I don't point it out though. I just deal with it.
No, but inside your brain says, listen to this guy. What does this dude think he's doing? You know what I mean?
I almost did it on the thing for an example, but I don't want to do that to myself.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to hear it. Hearing people chew just drives me nuts.
I'm also not a big,
This really spiraled out of control.
breathing. Like when I hear you just like, I want to say wheezing because sometimes you can be sick or you can be, this or that. But like all the time when I just hear you know what I mean? I don't want to, it's weird. And
I also know some people that constantly clear their throats, even if there's nothing in there.
Yeah.
Just every, like, you can time it, like almost every 90 seconds.
Yeah. Well,
it's like, now go see a doctor about that.
Now, if we're really picking,
now we're deciding if we're really picking.
I say, you know what I mean, all the time. To the point where, thanks, Tony, for pointing it out. You know what I mean? Yeah. You know what I mean? Why didn't you call your podcast? You know what I mean?
Damon.
Yeah, it is what it is. I say that too.
Maybe that's why I brought it up.
10-4. 10-4. But no, so think of stuff like that. And then the other thing I wanted to do, maybe for next time.
I'm not staying in your deck again.
Yeah. You did say deck, right?
I very clearly
put
an E in that.
No, the other thing that I was thinking too is on a deeper note, and they could be silly or funny, but missed opportunities or something you'd change. Like if you could go back to 16-year-old Ted or 20-year-old Ted or 22-year-old Ted and you had a decision you made, if you made it the other way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that'd be kind of cool to hear.
I've had a few of those, but I also don't have regrets. Like I made my choices. I'm here. I did what I did.
But and I don't think it has to be something that gives you regrets.
Right.
I think.
I just meant I don't want to say because you could change something that could change something else, But if there's a moment in time, I could just go in in a bubble and be like, okay, I would do this one thing differently,
right?
Or say something I didn't say or whatever. Yeah, there's those, but I don't want any decision I would. This is all hypothetical, but I wouldn't want any decision I make as 16-year-old Ted to change this Ted or the things Ted because there's other things.
The rest of us would just for the record. The rest of us would.
Well, you would go back to somewhere in the late 75 and talk to my parents. I think it would be like, not tonight. No, you're going to regret that. We all have regretted it for 40 some years. Do not.
Yeah. Maybe you guys should just watch a movie.
Yeah. Maybe you should just Netflix. Don't chill.
Yeah. But no, that's I think that would be kind of neat too to hear that from people. And again, it might be something really cool. It might be something really like, hey, you know what? I was going to get into this business deal and it became the next Facebook or became this or became that. It could be something silly. Yeah, no. It really could.
But also, if we do this, Brian, Big Mac, I'm going to need you to bring tissues because usually with the one I bring up, it gets to me.
Yeah? You're gonna get choked up a little?
Yeah, maybe. If I go to that one, yeah.
All right.
It gets me every time.
That's all right. It's all right. That's solid, though. It looks like it's getting you now.
No, I'm fine.
Okay.
I'm just clearing my throat.
Do you need to picture me nude? That's what most people do.
I don't need to throw up, Damon. It was more like I don't want to cry. That was the
I brought him
difference.
back. I brought him back, folks. Hey, you're welcome. I just saved your life.
That checks out.
So,
so bring it up to us. You can Facebook,
Yeah.
That checks out WDT. Instagram, that checks out WDT. Gmail, that checks out WDT @gmail.com. You can go to our website and find all those.
You're so good at this.
I'm trying to be professional. I know that's one of us. Well, two of us. I'm counting Big Mac.
Yeah,
over
Big
there.
Mac. Big Mac's
Big Mac
professional.
is
too.
professional. I'm trying to be professional. I don't know what you're doing.
I showed up today. You're welcome.
Yeah, you did.
I just saved your life too, bro.
Earlier the better. Last one in the room, Damon.
So no, everybody, seriously, this was probably the best. This last podcast we did was the best received in the shortest amount of time.
Thank you, everyone, for that. Yes,
it was. Man, it was. I want to say, because you use the word humble, like it is humbling, but at the same time, you try not to make your head swell too, because you're like, man, it's getting received. But I mean, it's just growing and growing, and then we're seeing numbers going back to the first episode.
Yeah, people are going back and looking for what they missed. Right,
they're going back and seeing what they missed. So we're watching. You're coming in on this, and then you're going back, and it's like, man. It's awesome.
It's not like we're 100 episodes in. There's plenty of time to go back and check out start from the beginning.
Yeah.
Hear some of the inside jokes we're doing. It's a lot of fun. We're just having a good time. We hope you guys are too. Let us know if there's anything that you want us to change, you want us to keep going, want us to extrapolate more on. Same places you can find us.
You said moron.
Moron.
Extrapolate moron.
Moron. Yeah. Well,
Damon's already here.
Yeah,
I know where you're going with that. The other thing I've heard that other people do with their podcasts is sometimes they give a little tune-up like for the weekend. So it might be something where we think about going forward. We might think about doing another 10-minute thing just where it's a brief or a hit on something or this or that, and maybe it comes out later in the week. You know what I mean?
That's an idea.
And so you get a little stupid and silly in your ears multiple times a week from maybe it's somebody you know, maybe it's somebody who conned you into listen to us, and now you're like, you know what? They're not smart, but they're kind of entertaining, you know. And that's really should be our tagline, you know. Not smart.
They're not smart. They're barely entertaining. And that does check out.
That checks out.
With Damon and Ted.
You said it right. Thanks, man.
You seemed like you did it today.
I did. Thank you. I really appreciate that. I tried to bring some energy, but I was counting on you guys. And Big Mac, as always, she said over there quietly and really came through.
No,
thanks, man.
You missed what he was doing the whole episode.
Or I
Look over
can't
your
see his
shoulder.
face.
Every time he'd pick up something weird, he'd go on Google, look it up. He looked up human poop sack. He looked up.
So
every time I would lose thought, look up, it was because he was doing that.
So he's got freaking cue cards.
Yeah, I got cue cards.
I'm over here flying by the seat of my pants.
He's looking at if there's a song about giving Ted money. He was trying to find the Ozzy song for you. There was a whole bunch of stuff.
Switch seats next time.
Huh?
Yeah.
You can switch seats next time. You know.
Holy crap!
We'll just get a
I
secondary
didn't realize
monitor.
I didn't realize you had that going on.
Well, first I was like, is he just going to be looking up Google while we're trying to work? And then it was, because that's what I do at work, but I don't put it on a screen where people can see
First
it.
off, this ain't work. Don't call this work.
Oh, it was amazing.
That's
what
awesome.
Did it just give him like
No,
human,
I like
human
doing-
poop
turn
sack?
around.
And I was like,
Turn around. I'm like, oh yeah, there we go.
that was amazing. Because I didn't think it cost me bag until it was in the images search he put up for human poop sack.
So, oh man,
I had
Big Mac saving the day.